On the news, federal government says Rivers State will receive federal allocation despite legal battle. PDP governors meet, pledge renewed hope for Nigerians. And NMA advocate for increment in retirement age for health workers to address brain drain. Thank you for joining us on the news on TV 360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkolie. Rivers State will continue to receive federal allocations despite recent controversies surrounding its financial entitlement. The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation has affirmed its commitment to obeying court orders, with its Director of Press and Public Relations, Bakwa Mowa, stating that the notice of appeal filed by the Rivers State government has overridden an earlier Federal High Court judgment. The court had on October the 30th directed the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) to withhold monthly allocations to Rivers, citing Governor Siminalayi Fubara's alleged unconstitutional presentation of the 2024 budget to a four-member House of Assembly. And governors elected under the People's Democratic Party (PDP) have convened in Jos Plateau State to address governance issues affecting the party and review its performance in the recently concluded Edo and Ondo governorship elections, where the party suffered defeats. Bala Mohammed, governor of Bauchi State and chairman of the PDP's Governors Forum, reaffirmed the party's dedication to good governance and unity, describing the PDP as an indivisible party committed to offering Nigerians better opportunities and hope. The meeting was attended by governors from Zamfara, Oyo, Taraba, Adamawa, Bauchi and Plateau State, with Delta and Enugu State represented by delegates. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde also assured PDP supporters of ongoing reforms to restore the party's leadership role in Nigeria. Meanwhile, Senator Nedu Nwoko, representing Delta North, has called on the federal government to initiate a national dialogue with aggrieved groups to address the root causes of their discontent. Senator Nwoko also emphasized the need to regulate social media platforms operating in Nigeria. He argued that such regulation would not only create employment opportunities, but also strengthen the government's capacity to monitor activities like money laundering and other illegal operations conducted via these platforms.
They are just operating in our space without any control or regulation. And we are losing. Nigerians are losing. I remember many years ago in UK, in Ireland, in France, the parliamentarians made laws that made Facebook and other platforms to establish offices in their countries. And the importance of this cannot be overemphasized. One, it will create jobs. When they have an office here in Nigeria, whether it's in Lagos or Abuja, it will create a number of jobs. Two, because they are operating here, they will pay taxes, so revenue will be generated. Three, it will help to transfer technology because our people will be learning. Either they are being taught here or they go to the headquarters to learn and be trained. Fourthly, it will help to deal with the difficulties in litigations. So as it is now, if there's a fake news and you are challenging them, it is difficult. It's difficult for them to tell you who the people are. It's difficult for the lawyers to be able to serve. It's difficult for the lawyers to be able to serve court processes on them outside Nigeria. And then what about criminals who are laundering money, who are moving as insurgents? You know, if we have social media presence here, the military intelligence will easily work with them to guide them as to where these people are, how many they are, how they are moving. But all this is missing in Nigeria currently because we have no control over people who are doing businesses in Nigeria.
To security matters, police in Borno State have successfully recovered 8 unexploded ordnances from residential areas in Maiduguri, the state capital, following public alerts on Friday. The Borno State Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Lawan Yusuf, announced that the recovery operations began after receiving distress calls from residents in the Dala and Gwange areas of the metropolis. According to police reports, the first discovery occurred at approximately 8:43 a.m. when residents spotted suspicious object near an uncompleted building in Dala Abuja Talakewa area. The command said a team responded promptly, recovering 6 projectiles and 1 unexploded mortar bombs. In a related development later that day, around 1 p.m., another unexploded ordnance, a hand grenade, was discovered along the Gwange River bank. Preliminary investigations suggest that these explosives were displaced and exposed by recent flooding in the state. To health matters, the Nigerian Medical Association (NMA) has advocated for increasing the retirement age of health workers from 60 to 65 years to address brain drain, commonly referred to as JAPA, in the health sector. During a visit to Honorable Wale Ahmed, a member representing Agege Federal Constituency in Lagos, the NMA commended the sponsorship of a bill proposing the retirement age increment and an increase in pensionable service years from 35 to 40. The first Vice President of the NMA, Benjamin Olojebutu, expressed optimism about the bill, which would enhance the morale of healthcare workers, strengthen training for younger doctors, and boost the overall quality of healthcare. Similarly, Mohammed Aminu Mohammed, President of the Medical and Dental Consultant Association of Nigeria, highlighted the urgency of the bill, citing a critical loss of experienced consultants and the need to prolong service years of seasoned professionals. Both leaders appealed to the National Assembly to expedite the passage of the bill, emphasizing its potential to improve Nigeria's health indices and provide long-term benefits for the nation's healthcare system. And diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes, has emerged as a major public health challenge, largely fueled by unhealthy dietary choices, sedentary lifestyles, and increasing obesity rates. The International Diabetes Foundation reports that more than 500 million people worldwide are living with diabetes, with that number expected to rise. Now, in an interview with TV360 Nigeria, health expert Dr. Gloria Alakwa highlighted the critical role of healthy eating habits and lifestyle changes in preventing the onset of the disease. She emphasized that maintaining a balanced and nutritious diet is one of the most effective strategies for reducing the risks of developing diabetes.
So if you have a family history or a first degree relative, first degree mean mother, father, or a sibling who has diabetes, like type 1 diabetes, you have a higher chance of coming down with the same, diabetes, type 1 diabetes, as against someone who has low risk of having this disease. So I would say that genetics play a very important role, even in type 2 diabetes. If there's a family history of diabetes mellitus in one's in an individual, that person has to, be careful on their lifestyle, have to get regular screening to prevent the complications or to prevent having diabetes. The first thing I would advise such a person to do is to identify a health facility where they can get specialist attention of an endocrinologist, that's someone who can manage the diabetes condition as a specialist. So they go to that kind of health facility, and then they are able to be there'll be close monitoring on this individual, and then they'll place them on treatment and tell them, okay, this is the lifestyle you should live now. If you are obese, you have to work on cutting down weight. You have to work on weight loss. You have to work on your diet. You have to work on cessation of smoking and reduction of alcohol intake, alcohol consumption, also regular exercises, and all this, and cut down on fatty foods or junks and all that, cut down, a lot of things that they're going to do that if you stick to your plan of seeing a doctor, their regular checkups and all that, you can be able to manage long term. It's not a death sentence at all. It's not something that you say, okay, I get now and then I'm going to just die like that. If it's well controlled and managed.
In a collaborative effort to combat drug abuse among Nigerian youth, Select Initiative, a non-governmental organization advocating for drug use prevention, has partnered with the Office of the Special Advisor on Trade and Investment to the Bayelsa State Governor to launch the Beyond the Street project. The campaign aims to steer youth away from hard drugs and street life by creating avenues for meaningful socio-economic engagement. Now, speaking at the launch, Select founder and president Sonny Irakpo highlighted the initiative's focus on redirecting youthful energy towards productive activities, bolstered by attracting foreign and local investment opportunities to stimulate job creation.
Well, the Beyond the Streets project, like I've told you, is moving from the nominal value to real value. Okay, we don't just want to begin to talk to young people get out of drugs without providing an alternative. We are using what we call the asset-based model. The asset-based model is a model that will help us to imbibe the right values into young people. You agree with me that values are dead in Nigeria. So if that must be resuscitated, there is an avenue we must create to first of all create that value. And in creating that value, it is the asset-based model that we want to use. It is not the conventional way that we've used to all over these years. Like as you said, we're going to be infusing a lot of tech idea. We are going to be creating a platform for synergy whereby young people will be given those training based on their capacity and what they want to do.
It's a menace that it's eating up the society silently. I mean, and it's a time bomb waiting to explode. Like they'll say, our youth are the future, our future. Now, two approaches or two ways we can address or curb this menace. The first is on the family level. Let's see every single child, the teen, the preteens, as your own family. On the part of the government, I mean the president, the governors, it's accountability from the MDs or the head of these parastatals and these agencies, and to deliberately ask them what initiative or programs they have rolled out.
The drug used by the youth of today needs to be nipped in the bud. And how can we nip all this menace of all kinds of drug abuse in the bud? Is by supporting his initiative, by funding it, and ensuring that we take some of these drug addicts out of the streets, get a rehabilitation home for them, have a kind of skills for them.
Meanwhile, the National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, is set for an engagement with the Nigerian military and human rights stakeholders aimed at addressing issues of mainstreaming human rights military operations. This constitutes a series of impactful programs and initiatives lined up by the Commission to commemorate the 2024 International Human Rights Day. According to NHRC Executive Secretary Tony Ojuko, NHRC would present to the Nigerian military report of the Special Independent Investigative Panel on Human Rights Violation in Counter-Insurgency Operations in the Northeast on the 6th of December 2024.
This year's theme, equality, reducing inequality, and advancing human rights, is both a timely reminder and a rallying call for us to reaffirm our commitment to upholding and protecting the rights of every individual in Nigeria and beyond. The International Human Rights Day serves as an opportunity for us to reflect on the progress we have made as a nation in advancing the fundamental rights as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution as amended, and other international human rights instruments to which Nigeria is a party. It also challenges us to confront the gaps and obstacles that continue to hinder the full realization of these rights in our country. For this year's commemoration, as usual, the National Human Rights Commission and its partners have lined up a series of impactful programs and initiatives designed to amplify the voices of the marginalized, promote accountability, and foster a deeper understanding of human rights among all stakeholders. As we embark on this 16 days journey, I urge everyone to join us in this effort to prevent and respond to gender-based violence. Together, we can create a society where women and girls are valued, respected, and protected from violence and discrimination.
We'll go on a break here, but still to come, Premier League announces 2025/2026 season date and introduces a player-friendly schedule. Details for this story after this break.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the go-to app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Let's take a quick recap of our top stories. Rivers State will continue to receive federal allocations despite recent legal controversies regarding its financial entitlement. The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation confirmed its adherence to court orders with Bawa Mokwa, the Director of Press and Public Relations, stating that the Rivers State government's notice of appeal has overridden an earlier federal high court judgment. The court had instructed the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) to withhold monthly allocations to Rivers due to allegations of Governor Siminalayi Fubara's unconstitutional presentation of the 2024 budget to a four-member House of Assembly. Recertified leader governors elected under the People's Democratic Party (PDP) gathered in Jos Plateau State to discuss governance challenges facing the party and assess its performance in the recent Edo and Ondo state governorship elections, where it faced losses. Bala Mohammed, governor of Bauchi State and chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, reaffirmed the party's commitment to good governance and unity, calling the PDP an indivisible party focused on providing better opportunities for Nigeria. The meeting, attended by governors from Zamfara, Oyo, Taraba, Adamawa, Bauchi, and Plateau State, with delegates from Delta and Enugu, also saw Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde assuring PDP supporters of ongoing reforms aimed at restoring the party's leadership role in Nigeria. Now, in case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us online on Mesua TV and ABO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 or download our mobile app on Google Play Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. In the world of business, the House of Representatives has called for a minimum recapitalization threshold of 500 billion naira for the 11 electricity distribution companies DISCOs operating in Nigeria to ensure they remain financially viable and capable of delivering efficient power services. The House expressed concerns about the DISCOs' insufficient financial capacity to invest in critical power infrastructure, thereby affecting service delivery. Presenting a motion at plenary, Rep. Ibrahim Ayokunle Siaka criticized the DISCOs for alleged exploitative practices, such as demanding additional payment from consumers for replacing outdated electricity meters they have previously financed.
Also notes that Nigerian consumers paid for electricity meters and installations, but DISCOs now demanding additional payment for replacement of the same meters under dubious pretenses, undermining consumer trust and exacerbating financial...
Order, please. Members of Borno Caucus, please maintain orderliness. I can see why Orubujaha is unable to take control. You could have used your own campaign voice.
Worried that consumers are being coerced into paying for meters which they have earlier financed, causing financial strain on households and businesses already facing economic challenges now. The House is also worried about the sabotage of economic development by DISCOs, where essential services are used against citizens intended to serve, thereby stifling growth and development.
Still on business, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has fully recertified the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, and the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The announcement was made in a statement on their verified X account on Friday. During the presentation of the certificate in Abuja, Olubume Kuku, Managing Director of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, described the achievement as a significant milestone in improving Nigeria's aviation infrastructure. Kuku noted that the Aerodome certificate for the two airports had been inactive since 2020, making this recertification both overdue and critical for enhancing safety and efficiency in air travel. And on the global scene, at least 11 people have been killed and over 60 wounded after a massive Israeli airstrike struck the densely populated Basta district in the central Beirut early Saturday morning. The attack, which occurred without warning at approximately 4 a.m. local time, leveled an 8-story building and caused widespread devastation in the area. The Lebanese National News Agency reported that the strike included a bunker buster bomb, a weapon previously used by Israel to target senior Hezbollah figure such as the former leader Hassan Nasrallah. This suggests that a high-ranking Hezbollah official might have been the intended target, although there have been no confirmation from either Israel or Hezbollah. And the European Union (EU) has increased its proposed financial aid to $300 billion annually to support developing nations most affected by climate change as negotiations at the COP29 climate talks reach a critical stage. The offer, up from an earlier $250 billion proposal rejected by the poorer nations, comes amid mounting pressures to address the worsening impact of drought and natural disasters in vulnerable countries. However, the pledge is tied to conditions, including an annual review of global efforts to phase out fossil fuels, which has faced resistance from oil-dependent nations like Saudi Arabia. And finally, on sport, with its 2025 AFCON qualifiers wrapped up, the Super Eagles now face the daunting task of turning their fortunes around in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Nigeria's journey is fraught with challenges, and not at least which is the uncertainty over the team's head coach. Interim coach Osin Iguavon, who guided the team to secure the AFCON ticket, is expected to return to his role as technical director of Nigeria Football Federation (NFF). Now, despite calls for his permanent appointment, the NFF has remained silent, reportedly exploring options for a foreign coach to lead the team through the qualifiers. The Super Eagles currently sit 5th in their World Cup qualifying group with just 3 points, trailing group leaders Rwanda by 4 points. With 6 games remaining, Nigeria must secure victories in all their fixtures while relying on other teams to disrupt South Africa's campaign. And still on sport, the English Premier League has officially confirmed the date for the 2025/2026 season, which will kick off on Saturday, August 16, 2025, and conclude on Sunday, May 24th, 2026. In a notable change to improve players' welfare, the league will no longer schedule 2 match rounds within 60 hours of each other during the festive period, a significant move aimed at reducing the physical strain on players during the busy Christmas and New Year schedule. Additionally, there will be no matches scheduled on Christmas Eve in 2025, a decision that is expected to be well received by both players and fans. And that wraps up our bulletin on the news. Many thanks for watching. I'm Tamilore Akinkolie. See you again next time.